Hey guys, welcome to Electric Cafe. Welcome back, welcome back. So I don't know. I was kind of trying to think of things I like to do for videos, and just try to feel out the process of what I'm doing, and basically that is the overall is going through all the music before, for the most part, before 2000 when it comes to doing album reviews. Although it might change a little bit, I might do some in the 2000s. And then the last 25 years, basically, what I'm trying to do is trying to cover the past, my first 25 years, or at least from when I was 7 and started collecting in 1983, all the way up to about 2000, 2001, so my first 25 years. And hopefully by the time I'm 50 years old in 2026 in April, by that time I'll be starting to do the last 25 years. And I don't know if I'll hold out for a year and a half and not doing anything new, but, I'd like to hopefully do that and then get, for the most part, not necessarily caught up because it'd be impossible with all the music that I have, but at least, have a really good foundation. And I'm kind of a completist in a lot of ways, so I'd like to cover most things, but I don't think I won't be able to cover every album by everything that I have and everything that I want to any, but I'd like to have a good foundation, and then hopefully by, 20, end of 2025, 26, I'm going to start doing interviews with artists that I like, and then also start reviewing music that hopefully people that do electronic music will send me, and I can review it actually on the air. Considering it's new music and there's no copyright, so so it won't hit the YouTube algorithms, and I'll give my honest feedback, and yeah, I might have some other ideas for that. I'm thinking of maybe like helping place that music on a label and see if there's anybody I contact that I know that might want that music, or maybe have a platform of where labels come and check out, you know, um, unreleased music, and hopefully, get some of those people on their labels and things like that. I think that would be kind of cool to kind of branch out my network, and also like uh, support, young and upcoming, or young and old upcoming artists that maybe don't are so focused on music they don't necessarily have the outreach to contact people and know who to contact. And it's really it can be very daunting to try to get the proper label to get your music out there if you're looking for a label, or just looking for people to support your music, or just get your music out there in general, and just kind of be a platform for new producers to have a avenue for somebody to give feedback. Hopefully I can grow this channel to where it's at least large enough to where there's I still haven't got around to really inviting all my kind of acquaintances and friends to this channel. I kind of wanted to build up something for quite a few months. This is only my second month of having this channel, and I really wanted to you know get to the point where I invite people that follow my label, and maybe people that know me, or acquaintances online. It's strange is that I'm doing this month, and then I got locked out of Facebook and Instagram this past week, and I can't get in there, and I'm, it's like I guess my account got hacked, and it was strange because I was just in the point to where I was about to kind of abort using social media for the most part, because I'm not getting out of it. But also well, I wouldn't say I'm not getting anything out of it, because I am, and it's kind of my main contact to contact people that do music in my kind of niche field, and friends and stuff like that. And I certainly use Messenger a lot, so that's kind of crappy right now because I can't use that. But if I don't open up I know I want to open up an Instagram and Facebook page if I can't get mine back again, but I do want to leave a post on there saying, hey, I'm not going to be out here anymore. Here's where to find me, because I want to put more time and effort into this YouTube channel and relaunching both of my labels, and focusing on more on that. And then I'm doing a lot more writing and stuff like that on music right now. So I have enough on my plate, and then of course family and friends, and my hobby of music, of course, and just normal life and stuff like that. So I really kind of want to get away from social media anyway, and this might be the opportunity to kind of. But I do want to leave one last message on there, and everybody. know that I have this channel coming on. That's one of the big things, and have them come, and I was going to kind of do that later, towards the end of the year. I was actually planning on doing it at the end of the year, but now that I'm kind of hacked and stuff like that, and I can't get my account back yet, I'll probably just do it as soon as I get it back, if I do get it back. And I just don't know who to contact. I mean, I contact Instagram, but we'll see. I've heard it can take days, weeks, months, and to get somebody to respond. But anyways, going back to the ideas of what to do with the channel. So I want to do interviews. I want to do album reviews. I want to do artist reviews, and then also rate people's music. But the other thing I'd like to do too is either twofold. Either just kind of go over real quick music that I'm buying or music that I'm listening to. And today's kind of a combination of those two things for the last couple of weeks. I just thought I'd show some music that I've been listening to this or purchased in the last 2 weeks, and I've been listening to, and then also possibly maybe do videos of stuff that I know is coming out. And I don't know if I want to do that yet. I was kind of thinking about doing that video last week because I do get kind of I'm always kind of like into what's kind of coming out, especially just really mostly in electronic music. I do hear about other stuff, and I'll mention stuff that is rock and jazz and stuff too that I happen to like. But for the most part, it would be electronic music. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. But I figure I'll probably do it at some time. Or maybe go over the stuff music that I reviewed, not necessarily tell you about my review because that'd be boring, but just mention that, oh, hey, this is exciting, this is about to come out, oh, this is about to get reissued, or hey, check this one out, this one's pretty cool. So I might do something like that. I don't know if I want to do that, but I do kind of like what I've been listening to the last couple of weeks. And what I've been purchasing the last couple of weeks is kind of a little different than the reviews and stuff. And then some of them will be kind of maybe cross because maybe I reviewed something, like there's a couple in here that I reviewed recently that I've been listening to, so I might as well put that in the stack as well. But yeah, so this video today is basically stuff that I've been listening to for the last 2 weeks, and maybe a few purchases in here as well. So thought I kind of tell you what I'm listening to and stuff like that. So these are a couple purchases I got this week. A couple, just I'm always looking for rounding out stuff from like '97 to like 2005, 2007, like rare CDs and stuff that I'm interested in, like an IDM or techno or tech house or ambient or down tempo, and all the genres that I like, drum and bass, doesn't matter. So this is a good example of some of that. This is a 2004 album by Beanfield. I just got this week. It's called Sarek on Compost label. Compost was a really strong label that had a lot of trip hop and house and new jazz and maybe a little bit of deeper stuff, but all kinds of stuff really. And a few things that I follow on there is one of them is Beanfield. I think I have a couple Beanfield. I think this is the third CD or third release that I have by Beanfield. I think one is on record, one is on CD. I think I have their debut on CD, and then their second album or third album on vinyl, and this is either their third or their fourth album. So, just filling in the gaps. Should be some good down tempo trip hop. If you know Beanfield, I kind of compare to Beanfield to maybe if you know Kruder and Dorfmeister or Thievery Corporation, maybe Smith and Mighty, Fila Brasilia, also Pork Recording, with like Baby Mammoth or Bullet Nuts, or if you know Ninja Tune Records, not so much hip hop in here, but maybe like I wouldn't say Wagon Christ or Luke Vibert. Somebody corrected me. Thanks for correcting me on Luke Vibert. Luke Vibert, not Luke Vibert. Vibert. But yeah, just kind of down. Maybe a little bit of trip hop in here. I wouldn't say like Tricky or Massive Attack or anything like that, but a little bit more Yeah, Cruder and Deutschmark say more down tempo. So I'm excited to check this out. It should be good. Where to put these? Also, I did get this one this week as well. It's by a band called I think it's a duo. This is only the second release I've gotten from them. I have a it's called they're called Tenon Tracer. I can't remember which label this is on. It might be on Scape Records. Um, Light in here isn't that great today because I hate this orange light in here, but it's a little dark outside, so I shut the windows today. Um, I can't see what label it is. It looks like it's out of Belgium, but I can't quite see it. It's just so. If you saw the writing on the CD, it's really hard to tell without right under a spotlight. It's really small print and it's really hard to see. Maybe I can see it off the reflection. Anyways, Cannon Tracer is a little bit more like IDM, down tempo, maybe a little bit of, I wouldn't say trip hop either, but really IDM and down tempo and probably something more like maybe a blend of Boards of Canada and uh, Casino versus Japan, or is it Japan versus Casino? I always forget that. But yeah, kind of in that feel, but it should be a little bit of IDM in there as well. But Ten and Tracer are really strong. Especially, I really like the one EP. I've been meaning to get something from them. They don't have a lot of stuff. I think they only have like maybe 3 or 4 full-length CDs and a couple EPs in this one. Mostly from around 2000. I think this is 2004 or so, but I got this one this week as well. The other two new purchases I got this week. Um, one of the new, one of the new I Feel You International records. If you guys don't know International Feel Records, man, this is a great chill out label that I've been following for probably a little bit over 10 years now. With I was a big Jose Padilla fan. That's how I found this label. He had a couple releases, like 3 or 4, back in like 2013, 2012, and I think the label started in 2009, 2008, and then I got some of the compilations right away. And I followed the label religiously. They did have a break there for a year or two, maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, but they've kind of started back up the last 2, 3 years, and I've kind of been a little bit late, kind of getting back into it. But this is my first one I've gotten of theirs in 3 or 4 years. But I mean, I've probably about 40 releases off this record. Love the artwork, the little island kind of map. It looks like they changed the cover. It was a different kind of country thing before on blue, and now they got it on white on the other side. So cool. But the label is kind of very similar. Still has a blue, but a little bit different design on the world, if I'm not mistaken. But I did get a chance to hear a sample of this. I did want to kind of take a chance and get one. This is the main. I bought 4 records in this small purchase just because they were cheap. I think I got this for $4. I think the Beanfield was like $4, and then I did pay $15 for this because this is brand new. This came out this year, and from what I heard here, this one's by somebody called Feel Fly. I'm not sure. Um, Track one on Renuta, and then Grace in Space. On the other side is Mediterranean Dreams and Be Calmed, and that's what this label is. I mean, it's Mediterranean Dreams. That's a great description of what this is. This label in general. It's just like a buy on spot for me. It's one of my favorite Balearic labels for the last 10, 15 years. If you knew my background, I'm huge into the Cafe Del Mar scene and the chill out scene in like 92 to 95 and before the internet, and that was it was kind of like the future of DJing for me, like the playing music during the day and playing a mix of tribal and ambient and Balearic and progressive house and anything, really anything. And that's the cool thing about Cafe Del Mar is you can be a DJ. The idea was it's just a perfect, you got, of course you got the beach and all that kind of, drinks on the beach and you know nice people around and good food and just everybody's in kind of a holiday spirit and I don't mean holiday like the holidays, but you know everybody's on holiday and everybody's on vacation and everybody's having a good time and you're relaxing in the day and people are kind of coming out hangover or you know they're getting brunch or you know just relaxing by the pool and you're playing some really cool music and that's what this label is. That's what the label sound is. It's really exciting for me because that's really what I wanted to DJ. I didn't want to just DJ techno or DJ house music. There's so much more to electronic music than just playing house or techno or any kind of one genre. Like I really kind of, and that's how if you heard my mixes and stuff, that's kind of how my mixes are. I don't, of course, if I'm gonna you know play a night like a new wave night or be asked to play techno or something like that, you know I'll play those styles. But if it's up to me, I'd rather play. Excuse me. I'd rather play a hodgepodge of all kinds of stuff, and this is kind of you know your tribal, your house, your ambient, your kind of beachy music, just flavor, just mad flavor on this label, just great label. I mean, I can't. There's so many good albums on here, and the artwork goes great for it, and that song title, Mediterranean Dreams. That's what it's about. Great label. I'm really excited to check out the rest of this. What I heard about this, wow, this is going to be a good one. I do like this cover. It's kind of like it's a little bit more solid, even though it's you would think it was just a cheap jacket. This does have a little bit more substance to it than a normal jacket. It feels like it feels nice. I'll probably have to. I'm restarting my label, and I have to recommend this jacket for my label. I really like that. This is kind of old. Been kind of meaning to get these. There's I had the CD. Got it back in 2001. This is Yuri Hulkinen. If you guys know Yuri Hulkinen from mostly he was on FCOM Records on Laurent Garnier's label FCOM, but all the way back to like the mid '90s. Like he was, I think he might have been on FNAC Records early on, but then mostly on FCOM. But he's kind of a deep house producer. I really enjoyed his stuff from like '95 to like 2002, 2003. I was buying a lot of his stuff back then. I really liked it. Quite a few good albums. And this was one that he did under a new name. And he only did one album under that. It was called Bobby Forrester. And this is called Love You Forever. And this is the remix. So there's two EPs that kind of collect 6 of the 10 songs, I think, from the CD. And then this one was kind of a remix of it featured a couple songs. Yeah, so this is The Day the World Stood Still, a remix, and then 2 remixes of Pressure Control. And if you know that, these are those tracks from this album. This is a really cool purchase, and for $5, $6, I think I got it might have been $7, but man, this is such an underrated CD. Eventually, because I don't think it was ever released on vinyl, they just put the couple tracks on. They put some of the like more than half, like 6 of the 10 tracks on 2 EPs, and I think it was on Plump House Records, which I'm not. I remember the name, and I never, and I don't think I really have much from that label back in the day, but you know, it was kind of a house label, like kind of a. I can't say it was great. I can't say it was bad because I haven't come across much, but I've heard of it. So generally, that's not a good sign if I've heard of it and I don't have anything by it, or I haven't heard anything, or I have heard it and I don't have an idea about it. If it's 20, 25-year-old label, I don't have. But it did put out this. You know, it did put out the Bobby Forrester stuff. So I can't say it's not a solid label. I just don't know too much about it. So maybe I shouldn't say anything. But. Prime Distribution. You're old school, you know. Prime Distribution, one of the best distributors of techno and house and a lot of styles back in the '90s and 2000s. But yeah, this should be cool. So yeah, those are the 4 records I bought this week: a Beanfield 10 Tracer, Bobby Forrester, aka Yuri Hulkinen, and then the I Feel You or Feel Fly on I Feel You Recordings label. So then, kind of want to tell you I've been listening to the last couple of weeks. Just kind of some random stuff. Um, this I was playing this today. I thought I'd show it. It's kind of a cool box. It's by Morphology. It's called Identity Component. Um, looks like there's 37 of 50 copies roughly. It's hard to see, but um, on there 35 of I think I think it's 37 of 50 copies. Excuse me, and it's kind of a tin box, kind of like Chain Reaction a little bit, but it's kind of but that's Morphology is the duo from Finland. They do really great electro, really great electro. This is 8 tracks on here. I think this was their second album or third album. Um, well, let me get the names of the tracks. There's, um, no, I can't see it. I don't have my glasses on. But anyways, there's like, oh man, there's a couple of bangers on here. Man, there's like four out of the 8 are so good on here. Actually, there's 5. There's one that's pretty good, and there's 3 okay ones. None of these are subpar, but there's some killers on here. If you guys know Carl Finlow, Plant 43 record, Plant 43, which is Emily. I think he's from Spain. Theodore from Romania, or Signal, or yeah, Carl Finlow. He's out of France. ERP, Morphology is right up there with some of the best electro in the last 15 years. Like it's a couple gentlemen from Finland, Matti Turinen, and then Michael Diekman, and really nice guys, but just some really super futuristic electro, a little bit of dub elements, a lot of ambient, a lot of great stuff, super spacey, super futuristic. Some of the best electro you'll find. And this is really kind of a rare one, but really cool. Another one I've been listening to, Shinichi and Toby's Return CD, Butterfly Effect. This is copy number 12 out of 1,000. I also have this on vinyl, but this is the CD. Album's called Butterfly Effect. Man, that second track called Butterfly Effect, 11 minutes 51 seconds. Man, just play it over and over and over and over. It's such good dub techno. It's so good. It's very it's fairly repetitive and minimal, but man, it's so good. It doesn't matter. I'll still listen to it over and over and over again. But the rest of the album is pretty solid. But to be honest with you, every time I put it on, I listen to that track for like an hour, and I don't get to the other stuff. So I've probably listened to the album a couple times, if I remember correctly, but I've listened to that song for hours on end. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And I did a review a couple days ago, on an overview on Shinichi and Toby's music, and so I had this out. So of course I pulled it out and didn't listen to the album, but listened to that track for an hour. It's just too good. I reviewed this online this week. This is Arne Weinberg's, because I did an overview the other day, and then I did a review on this on Discogs yesterday. This is a second full length album. It's called Alpha and Omega. Interesting kind of cover, double CD. There's I think 10 songs on the first side. Technically 8. There's an outro and an intro, about a minute and a half on each side, and then there's a bonus 5-song. It's about a little bit over 50 minutes ambient bonus CD, and that's where the magic is. There's there's definitely a couple good songs on the first side. I mean, a couple of excellent songs on I should say. On the first side, I think I ranked 2 of them 4 stars, and then most of them were in the 3 stars. Really solid. I don't think anything was really under 2.5 stars. Everything was good. Most of it was very good, and a few excellent. And then, but the second side, the ambient side, I didn't get a chance to really rank the songs as well as I like. That's one thing that's really hard to do is rank a 15-minute ambient song. But when you listen to the course of all 5 tracks, I mean, 4 of the 5 songs are really good and very unique and different kind of ambient than each other. Some's kind of sci-fi, some's kind of spacey. Um, One's got a talking through it all. It's just really cool. But Arn Weinberg, super talented. Please come back and start making music again, my friend Arn. We miss you. So that's the second full length album under his own name. And since I'm talking about him, I also did pull out this one, and I've been playing this one too. The Valence, or Valence, Valanx, and it's called the Ejecta. Um, and this is on his own Diametric label. I think this came out in 2014 or 16 or something like that, somewhere around there. Copy number 147 out of 200, it looks like. But I like these DVD folders. Pretty cool. They fit nice in the bin. Kind of stick out. It's kind of cool. But you can hear, they don't really. I mean, it holds it good, but it still rattles a lot. But it holds it good, so it's not bad. But I do like it. But I definitely like the side artwork. That's super cool. Even if the plastic does kind of get heat or something like that, it kind of warps a little bit. But kind of cool. Very cool. Solid though. What I was going to say about this? I can't remember what I was going to say about that, but it's really solid. I was playing this in a mix recently, so I pulled it up because it was next to my turntable. Man in Orbit. This is about America's first man in orbit. 33 RPMs. John Glenn. And basically, it's just audio. I collect spacey stuff too, so this is basically astronaut John Glenn and the Friendship 1, with a narration by Lieutenant Colonel John Powers in Mercury Control. John Powers. I wonder if that's the same John Powers who got caught in the B-2 and was held captive. Wow, that'd be cool if that was him. Huh. I wonder if that's the same John Powers. Lieutenant Colonel John Powers. I didn't know he was in the space missions too. Must be a different Powers. If you guys don't know Powers, I think it was I think it's the Tom Hanks story, the one Tom Hanks was in. Bridges of Spies or something like that. I think it won a few awards, like 2012 or something. Bridges of Spies or Bridges and Spies. Bridges of Spies. I think that was about John Powers, and I didn't know that I hope it's the same guy. That'd be super cool. Because he was the one who flew the B-2, and it got caught. Or shot, or there was a shot down, and then he was held captive for a while, and we did a kind of a trade with him. But anyways, has some cool statistics on the bottom here about the apogee and the retro rockets fired at 420 hours, and the helicopter hooked on capsule at this time. It has some cool little statistics on here, but basically it's a 7-inch of talking about the mission. And I buy anything that has Saturn rockets on it, which is my logo for my label. Has a Saturn rocket on it, and I love anything that's kind of old school space. Very cool to mix over ambient music. Super cool. Also, I was listening to Clock DVA, Buried Dreams. If you know, you know. One of the Mr. Prouse, one of the best industrial / techno artists that did both. Just amazing. This is his Buried Dreams album, I think from 89. So many good tracks on here. The Unseen. I love Plain Velvet Realm. The Rain. Sound Horror. Buried Dreams. I mean, just Clock DVA is just amazing. Dark industrial, but heavily techno influenced, and very ahead of the curve. If you don't know Clock DVA also, after that, started doing some techno and some houses. Was it? I think it was under Effective Force, who was on John Paul Van Dyke's label, MFS. So I've been in contact with him. I'd like to reissue some one of his Effective Force tracks. Um, but yeah, very cool. I love Clock DVA stuff. This is kind of, I don't know how to say this. It's called EXO, EXO, and the artist name is Tinedae, TineidAe. This is on the Cryo Chamber label. This is their logo, if you guys know. They've been putting out some really cool, kind of ambient, nice packaging. They do a good job on their records and CDs. Kind of on the darker ambient side, kind of drone and they're some really strong artists on there. Need to delve a little bit more. They do put out a lot of stuff, but I probably have about 10 or 12 things from them. But I'd like to get some more. But I do want to. I think I got some stuff a couple of years ago. I'm still letting it kind of sink in, so I was playing this recently. But kind of debate whether I want to get some more from their label. This is kind of a. I've been putting together an ambient mix I've been meaning to put together, and this one's probably going to be in it. This is Collapsar, and the album title is. God, I can't see it at all. It's so hard to read these handwriting. I can't remember. Anyways, 2009. It's kind of a dark ambient. Look it up. I think I did a review on it a couple weeks ago on Discogs. Collapsar. It's kind of drone. Obviously, spacey. I think they only had like 2 releases. Collapsar. This is one of them, but I think it's pretty strong. 2009, I think it came out in. I've had it for a while, but I come back and listen to it here and there. Fractal Zoom, from Brian Eno. This has all the Moby remixes on it. Brian Eno, the man, the legend, with the excellent Moby remixes. If you guys know this, you know this. Fractal Zoom. If you guys like early Moby, and especially early Moby remixes, Moby remixed. He had 6 different remixes on here, or is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 remixes on here. Crazy. Who does 7 remixes for somebody? That's crazy. I think that might be a record. Really cool though. 1992. This is the Circular Ruins. If you guys know Anthony Kirby, he's been doing music under Circular Ruins for the past 20-25 years. It's kind of ambient, a little bit of techno in there. Mostly CDs. He owns I always forget if it's the Data Obscura. I think it's the Data Obscura record. There's also Data Blom. They used to be sister labels, and then they broke off. So there's a guy named Dennis. I think his name's Knopfer. Took over Data Blom, and then I think he took it. Don't quote me, but Anthony Kirby did one, and Dennis Knopfer did the other one, and they're kind of split up, but they're all kind of running the same label. And both of them have been running them now for like 20-25 years, and really excellent. I think Anthony Kirby, on whether it be Data Obscura or Data Blom, probably is pushing 130 releases on his label, like full length CDs, CDRs for the last 25 years. Really commendable job, and a label that needs more discovering from people. And I was in talks with them last week. I'm hoping to release something unreleased on my sub label, Discovery Records, and so I'm hoping to put something out from Circular Ruins, hopefully next month, maybe. Just because I was reviewing it, Boys Don't Cry. I reviewed this yesterday in a video on this channel. Feel free to check out the playlist. You'll see that. I reviewed both of these yesterday. These are a couple compilations called Voodoo Rue. 1 and 2. Trying to get the shine off there. These are on Waveform Records. If you don't know Waveform Records, they were also Beyond Records in the 90s out of UK. Kind of ambient dub, trip hop, down tempo labels. This is two of their compilations, the Voodoo-Roo 1 and 2. Did the reviews on there on Discogs. Check it out if you're interested. That's how you spell it, Voodoo-Roo. Look that up and you'll see my reviews on it if you want to know about some of this, but some really good ambient dub, and kind of verges into a little bit of psy trance, a little bit of down tempo, a little bit of techno, really solid chill out ones, and yeah, it's just really cool. I was listening to this last week, Hybrids, soundtrack for an aquarium, Antwerp Zoo. This is a kind of a older drone band. You can see the names of the songs. In the Wake of the Great Sea Serpents, Orca. You know, this is a very cool drone CD, soundtrack for an aquarium. There's a lot of sounds of animals in it. It's kind of on the darker side. It's very cool. Pictures of old aquarium inside. Very cool. Hybrids is a really cool, lesser-known drone act throughout the 90s and 2000s. Very cool. Very dark. Kind of on the, you know, if you guys know Voice of I or Wicked Messenger, is kind of on the a little bit more ritual, kind of tribal a little bit. I wouldn't say it's more on the ritual style of ambient, but more on the drone. Very cool. Also on Waveform Records from earlier. This is Gray Area called and then the Clouds. It's kind of a compilation Waveform put out. Gray Area put out like 2 or 3 down-tempo records in the late 90s. And this one kind of collects like 4 or 5 songs from those and then 4 or 5 new songs and put it out on Waveform Records. This is the Waveform logo, if you guys have ever seen that. That's the Waveform logo. And yeah, this kind of marked the return of Waveform Records like in 2005 when this came out. When I saw this, I was super excited that Waveform was back when this came out, and this is a solid ambient dub, kind of chill out. Nothing fantastic on here, but it's solid. But I was really excited that Waveform was back, and unfortunately they put out some good stuff and then kind of were consistent and then kind of weren't around anymore and then kind of came back, and I think they come back like 3 or 4 times, but overall, I still follow the label. I think I have probably 35 of their 45 releases. You know, I do love the label still. I did a review of this yesterday, Brian Ferry's Olympia, in a video on this channel. Check it out if you're interested. This is Gridlock. This is an industrial band from San Francisco. I found this recently about them. I've known about Gridlock for probably since like 2005. They did one CD and then a few EPs under the same name, but they had switched and they sort of did IDM. But unbeknownst to me, I was looking up and kind of like what I was doing when I bought those other CDs this week, where I was just kind of looking at stuff of bands that I know, and maybe there was something that I didn't have, and I looked up Gridlock and I checked out a sample and I was like, oh, they do some darker industrial. And so they have 2 albums back in the 90s, and they just recently got released on vinyl about 2 months ago when I purchased this. And then I've been still having this kind of in my car, and I did play the title track out. I think it was a couple months ago when I got it that week, and it's just really kind of darker industrial. This is they're very much inspired by Skinny Puppy. You can kind of tell. I think their 2 albums were like 95 and 97. But if you like Nine Inch Nails, more abstract stuff, or Skinny Puppy, or Um, or Clock DVA. Like, I think you might like this Gridlock, and the album's called um, the. Jeez, I cannot read that. It's totally blurry. The Something Fern. But anyways, just check out Gridlock. You'll see the CDs. Um, there's some interludes on there, like some ambient stuff in there too, which is pretty cool. Nice production for the time. Man, they should have kept going with this sound. But their IDM stuff is really desirable too. There's a 2003 album, I think it's called Formless, or oh, I have it over here, but it's really a desirable CD, and they only did one under that style, and I'm not sure what happened to them, but did some good industrial and some good IDM, but for some reason just and that's the that's the thing about living in America. There's a lot of bands that don't get support and fall off and never do music again. These guys are really talented. Should have continued. Unfortunately, Future Loop Foundation. This is a drum and bass CD from on Mammoth Records, Planet Dog, which is kind of unusual because Planet Dog and Mammoth Records were kind of had Eat Static and more. I wouldn't say Goa trance, but had more trance and psychedelic music and techno and chill out music. But they did have this Future Loop Foundation, and this is kind of a liquid drum and bass prime time for I loved liquid drum and bass from like '95 to 2000. Just some really great stuff, and the cool thing about Future Loop Foundation is the one guy, his name is Mark Barrett. He's in um, uh, shoot. Well, he does stuff under his name, Mark Barrett, for I Feel You, for for the label I was talking about earlier. This he's on this label under Mark Barrett with some highly regarded stuff that he's done in the last 10 years. But he used to be on Loop Foundation doing drum and bass. And this is if you like liquid drum and bass, check out a Future Loop Foundation. Really strong. I think this one was '98 or '97, so right in the prime stuff of liquid drum bass time. Was listening to these this morning. A couple Kid Clayton, both on. I think both of these were on. No, this one was on Scape. Uh, I think it's called Next Senelet. It was on Scape Records. Really strong glitch ambient label in the from I think it was like '99 to 2010. Really strong glitch label. They had Pole and uh, Jan Janalek was on there, and they had some great statism compilations as well. A very strong label if you like glitch and ambient and you don't know Scape. Need to check them out. But Click Clayton was on there, and then he was also on Lateral Forms label. And it's kind of hard to see the artwork, but yeah, this one. I mean, this was reissued a couple of years ago. I think 2015, but some great dub on here. Some great techno dub or dub techno. Excuse me. If you guys like Deadbeat or really anything dub techno, and you don't know Next Satellite by Kate Clayton, definitely get a chance to know that. This one's a little bit more on the experimental electro dubby kind of sound. There's really hardly any beats on here. It's very experimental. There's only like uh, 5 or 6 songs on here, maybe 7. You can see it's kind of almost referencing the Basic Channel logo on there, which is kind of cool. And then just last couple. Been playing Nine Snails Pretty Hate Machine in my car a lot this week. Always good to hear this one. This always brings back memories of man, the Nine Snails were so big in '94 that year when Downward Spiral came out, and they were on Woodstock and did that kind of performance with all the mud and stuff like that. Man, they killed it. Got to hand it to Trent Reznor. Man, from '89 to '94, I really liked Nine Inch Nails stuff. After not so much, but man, those that album and Downward Spiral amazing, and all the EPs in there and all the singles, Down in It and Sin and Terrible Lie and Head Like a Hole and Closer and Piggy and March of the Pigs and man, so, was it Eraser and but it's funny. My favorite two tracks on well, I love Hurt too, but my favorite song, if you know Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral a lot, is A Warm Place. I love that ambient song. It's just so beautiful. This is kind of a one that got reissued recently on CD. It's by Robert Limpton, and I think the track is called Opener, and then I think there's a track called Close. There's three tracks on here. It's like a 7.5 minute track. I'm not sure. I think it's Closer, but just a phenomenal kind of ambient IDM kind of dub song. Just played it for hours and hours. I was kind of really late in finding this. This came out in 2000. And I just found it last year, and then I bought a CD copy finally when one was decently priced in America, and I bought that. So it's really strong. Here's a couple interesting records I've been playing this week. Renegade Soundwave. Biting My Nails, or is it Biting Nails? Biting My Nails has 3 mixes on the A side, but the real reason why I got this so many years ago was the B sides. It's like a hardcore slash. There's some breakbeat. They're kind of Meat Manifesto kind of network records. You know what I mean? Like Renegade Soundwave. It's kind of apparently they did a lot of samples and into the kind of a breakbeat. And it's very. I mean, it's 1989, but it is kind of a little ravey, but just kind of like that time, which is '89 was a really interesting time in electronic music. A lot of samples, a lot of rhythm, a lot of beat machines, a lot of raw tracks. Not too much atmosphere, but creative rhythms and interesting sort of samples, like put on stuff. That was kind of the time, especially in something like this. That was kind of a crossover. Was it industrial music? Was it techno? Was it breakbeat? But the two tracks are the Phantom. It's on there, and Ozone Breakdown. Those two tracks. So the Phantom, it's on there, and Ozone Breakdown. Those two tracks by Renegade Soundwave. You'll see the bottom there. The Phantom, it's here. I wish I had the longer version on here. This is the 4 minute 45 second. Still very solid though. But this has the 6 minute 46 seconds Ozone Breakdown. Also, Biting My Nails is strong as well. And you talk about Balearic stuff. This one's a really cool one that I like. Romeo Void. They were popular for doing. That was that one kind of punk song. It was kind of New Romantics. Sort of New Romantics, sort of punk. Oh God, I can't remember what it's called. If you guys know Romeo Void, you know what I'm talking about. It was a big kind of underground song. This came out on their second album, and it's kind of interesting if you ever seen that VH1 show Return of the Bands or something like that, where they try to get the band back together and do a performance and get all their fans back, and they kind of did that for a few bands. Well, one of the bands they did it for was Romeo Void, and it's on VH1, and you can YouTube if you like. But this should have been a bigger hit. It kind of almost hit top 40, but it didn't. And really, the sad thing about Romeo Void was they tried, because the lead singer, the girl, is kind of heavy set. Like they used somebody else, and like the whole VH1 video talks about like how they put another girl in the video, so it looked like it was somebody that was prettier and thinner, and they didn't. And then when the label actually saw who it was, and then they didn't support him on the rest of the tour and pulled all the money to support while they were on tour in support of this album. Just really kind of, and then of course they broke up after that, and she ended up doing some solo stuff, and it didn't really go nowhere. And just kind of a sad story of a band that was talented that wasn't supported by their label because they weren't pretty, or attractive, which was, that was the time in like 84, 85 when this came out. I think their first album was like a kind of a rare 7-inch that got popular. Um, Kind of like I'm singing the song and I can't think of what the original was. But it came out in like '82. It was a big hit on K Rock Records and a big underground hit. And this was called "A Girl in Trouble." And "A Girl in Trouble" is a temporary thing, and this is the dance remix. Really cool. I mean, the band was really unusual. They had a horn play, a saxophone player, nice guitar riff, keyboard player. She had a really strong voice with an attitude. Like they were kind of like, I wouldn't say like the Bangles, but cooler. Like if you mix the Bangles and B-52s, it could sound like this maybe. But Romeo Void, "A Girl in Trouble." Check out the song if you don't know it. "A Girl in Trouble" is a temporary thing, especially the dance remix. Very cool. It's 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Tell me if you. That's your homework for the day. Go check out Romeo Void's um, "A Girl in Trouble" is a temporary thing. Such a cool track. But I definitely like to play that. It's kind of like, it goes so good in so many different kinds of sets, from like house music to new wave to even punk or industrial. I could play that record, and it's just a super cool record. But yeah, that's it. Hey, I'm next to my Ron Trent Prescription Records box set. I think I'm gonna play it tomorrow. Six record set. Still haven't opened it since it came out. I think it came out in like 2014. I unsealed it to look at it when I got it. I still haven't played it. It's all reissues. It's prescription labels, so it's not like I don't know what it is. But I've kind of kept it unplayed for all this time. But I think I'm gonna play it tomorrow. But yeah, that's kind of my purchases. I had those 4 purchases, and then I had this big stack or 15 or 20 uh, things I've been listening to this week. Any thoughts on it or any opinions on any of those music I went over? And do you like any of these? But yeah, it's some of the music I've been listening to. Yeah, on to next week. So hopefully, maybe if you guys like this video or I enjoy doing these videos, probably the latter. Because even if you don't watch, I'll probably still do it because that's what YouTube's for. You just put up content and see if anybody watches. But at least I get a release and get it out of there and get it off my chest and share what I'm listening to. And that's the point of this. So it's as much as for me as it is for anybody out there. This is self medicating. No, I'm just joking. No, but I do like sharing music, so hopefully somebody gets something out of this. And as much as I like playing music, I like sharing music and talking about music. And I think it's time to go listen to some music now. So, all right, man. Take care, you guys. Bye.